Hi, this is Teresa from KLUBOVNA, and tonight I'm here with beautiful and talented CHARLI XCX. Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing tonight?
Good, thanks. Yeah.
So let's go to the first question. You've been super productive for the past few years. How do you keep it up, and how do you retain this?
I love what I do, and if I'm not creating anything, I have a breakdown because I don't really know what to do with my brain when it's calm. So I like to be writing music or doing some kind of creative project all the time because it just makes me feel good.
So it's just like to keep busy.
Yeah.
And when I started listening to you, you were basically playing with a girl band, and nowadays you're surrounded by DJs. How does change happen? Is it because of your music taste change, or is it something you wanted to do?
I think it's just the way my music evolved, you know, and I've always been really into electronic music and pop music, and I guess I just needed to figure out how to make that right for me, and it took a second, but I got there, you know? Yeah.
What I really like about you is that you really support women in music industry and the whole LGBTQ community. When did you begin to realize the importance of talking about these topics, like when you're on stage and in your projects and what you do?
I mean, it's something I've always done, and it just kind of feels like a no-brainer, you know? Like, I don't consciously really think about it, but when I realised that it was actually really important is when fans tell me, like, thank you for using, you know, your stage or your space to talk about those things, because it's really empowering to have someone use their platform to kind of highlight the LGBTQ plus community, or you know, whatever community I'm talking about. But it's not something I really think through. It's just I have a lot of friends in that community. I'm a woman who supports women. It just, I don't know, I think it just comes with the territory.
And do you think that the position of these groups, like especially in the music industry, like change for the better, or do you think there's still a long way to go?
I mean, I'm an ally to the LGBTQ plus community, but I'm not a member of it, so I can't speak as somebody who has, you know, experienced what it's like to be a member of that community in the music industry, but I can speak for what it's like to be a woman in the music industry. And I feel like the more that women and men, and however you identify, talk about being a woman in the music industry, the better things get as the conversation becomes broader. But there are still things that, you know, females have to face that men don't. And I'm sure that's the same for every industry. There's this assumption that we're kind of not capable or not able to be producers or write our own songs or direct our own music videos or run our own careers, when in fact I feel like it's impossible to be an artist nowadays without having control over what you do.
Another question for you. It's also cool that you choose the artist to collab with. For example, you worked with Tommy Cash, Alma. Today you're here with beautiful Dorian Electra. Is there something the artists have to have for you to decide to collab with them or choose them to work with you?
They have to want to work with me, first of all. And second of all, it's just that, like, unique kind of spirit. Like, all of the three people that you mentioned are truly unique. I mean, Dorian is somebody who just speaks their own language. Dorian has their own community around them and is just so vibrant in all of the decisions that they make, and is really inspiring. And Tommy Cash, I feel like he's like the next Harmony Korine or something. He's like just so next level. It's about just speaking your own language and being fearless. You know, I think they're fearless.
Yeah, they of course are. I'm really looking forward to see them later. And you have a new record, and it's more experimental than the other ones. Do you think there's like a line in pop music that cannot be crossed, or do you think like everything's possible?
I don't think there's any lines in pop music, maybe even in any genre of music. Especially now with the internet, everything is so broad, like genres bleed into one another so quickly and easily, and that's really fun. I mean, if there is a line, it should be crossed. I kind of feel like that's the rule with being a creative in music.
And do you think it's hard to nowadays write a record that's gonna be unique and new, but still like liked by a lot of people?
I don't know, because I don't really think about that when I'm writing. I don't really care if my records are liked by people. I mean, obviously it's great when it is, because then I can go on tour, but you know, I'm not looking for like mass like appreciation. I'm just looking to make a record that I feel inspired by. And if people like it, then that's like a bonus. And if lots of people like it, that's great, but I feel like I'm still making kind of two like jarring decisions for like, I don't know, like my mum to be like down with my record, although she does actually like this album.
Yeah, that's great. So this is the last question for you. You have a TV series on Netflix, I think, from tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's called I'm with a band, Nasty Sherry, and it basically maps the origin of your new band. And can you tell us something about it for the people who haven't heard of this?
Yeah, sure. So it's a docu-series that I've made with Netflix, as you say, about a band called Nasty Cherry, who most people don't know. They're a really small band. They were kind of introduced to each other by me, and the whole point of the show was to kind of document a band in their like early days, because I think that time is a really interesting time for a band, especially now in the music industry in 2019, where there are like no rules of how to like start a career, write a song, launch a project. So it follows them up until the point where they release their first single, and you know, the show is really focused on women writing their own songs, producing their music. Their manager is female. It's a really great platform for women making music, and there are so many amazing women who make music nowadays in the industry, and I'm lucky enough to have been able to like see their process, but I wish I'd been able to see that when I was younger. So I wanted to make this show to kind of inspire younger females who maybe want to get into music but are a little bit nervous, or like don't quite know like the steps to take. So this kind of show is for those people out there.
So if you don't know what to do tomorrow and on a weekend, now you know, watch Netflix and the new TV series. Okay, so this was Charli XCX. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And I'm really looking forward to see you tonight.
Thank you.
Bye guys.
Bye.